Yo, gather around, got a story to tell. Gather around, I got a story to tell. Yeah, I know I've been going for a couple days, but I'm gonna just get right into it. Sometimes you gotta make sure that people miss you before you hit them with something exclusive. So this story right here is about a Crip kid. Crip dude was rocking in the house with the homies. So if you don't know, the Bloods basically outnumber the Crips about 5, maybe 8 to 1. So when you got a Crip kid that's living amongst Bloods, one Crip amongst 15, 20 Bloods, and nobody's trying to beat him up or cut him, that kid gotta be a thorough kid, you heard? Only the strong survive in jail, prisons, or whatever. And there's this one Crip kid I was with. He was a good dude. A lot of people messed with him because he was just a good dude. He was official too. He was pretty fair. He wasn't no punk or coward. And he was holding his own. Of course, the homies could have easily smashed him, got him up out of there, sent him on his merry way. But sometimes you get some good-hearted homies and you get some official homies that say, you know what? Dude is all right. You know, he's not transgressing. You know, they look past the normal blue color and they look at the black skin. You know what I'm trying to say? Or the brown skin. Or just the humanity in the person. But this one kid, you know, he was rocking. He was cool. But sometimes people get too familiar with other people. And in prison, the one thing you can't do is get too familiar with people. Because at the end of the day, we did not grow up with each other. So we don't know each other. Basically, if I say this, right? Let me give you an example. In the street, if I'm arguing with my best friend or somebody I know since childhood, we got a relationship from going back to high school, junior high school, even to elementary school. We played basketball. We grew up basically. You know, we're gonna argue, we're gonna beef, but it probably don't get too far because we actually know each other. Our parents know each other. In prison, it's not like that. That bond isn't there. You don't know, we don't know you. We don't know each other. You know, you don't know me, I don't know you. So we keep it at mutual respect. Respect me, I respect you, right? That's how it goes in prison. But sometimes dudes start acting like they are them dudes that grew up with you in the projects or in the neighborhood, and they get too familiar too fast. They start playing around too much. That's the biggest problem in prison. People play around too much. Once you open that door, dudes start playing around too much. And this Crip kid, he started playing around too much. He started doing too much things. And every day, like one day, people in prison, they're not bipolar. It's just that they moody. One day, I could be the happiest person in the world. I just received a good phone call from my girl. You know, I had a good conversation before I go to bed, go lock in my cell. And the next morning, I can have a bad conversation and my mood is like just evil. So this dude was playing around with one of the homies and he wasn't in the mood. And then, you know, the homie wasn't in the mood. It just something snapped in him. He was like, man, you Crip anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you playing with me? That was the first thing he threw up in his face. Yo, you Crip. You understand why you playing with me? When he said that, it was just so many dudes that probably was like fed up with the Crip dude that they agreed with the homie. Like, man, let's get him out of here, man. He's Crip anyway. You know? And I don't have anything against Crips, you know? I could care less about what a person is or anything like that. But at the end of the day, in prison, everything matters. Color matter. Blacks against Puerto Ricans, blacks against whites, whites against Puerto Ricans. Color matters in prison. If you don't feel the racism out here, you'll feel that racism behind that wall, whether it's because of your own skin color or because of gangs, right? So this Crip kid was like, he wasn't no punk, so he was like, what's up? Plus, he was already familiar with dudes. Once somebody get to know you and get familiar with you, they're not scared of you anymore. You understand? They're not scared of you. So you know what he did? He said, what's up? Let's get busy. So the homies was like, they got at him. They was throwing chairs at him, right? And the Crip kid was catching the chairs. These are heavy ass chairs. But one homie threw a chair at him and hit him dead in his face, knocked him clean out on the floor, knocked all his teeth out his mouth. You know, that's the funniest thing I seen in prison. Even though, you know, the Crip kid was hurt, you know, he got up smiling. He got up smiling with no teeth. And was like, yo, that's all y'all got? And dude started laughing. And he started even laughing. And dudes was like, man, leave that dude alone, man. Like, so dude ended up still being cool with the homies. He just had no teeth in his mouth afterwards. You know, he went to the dentist and got the rest of them shits pulled out. Dude had no teeth in his mouth. I swear to everything I love, and he was still rocking, still cool with some of the homies. You know, prison is crazy, man. I know the story sounds crazy, and that's just how prison is, man. So you don't know what's gonna happen. You gotta be careful who you be cool with. And with that being said, that's just my prison story. Too much people getting too familiar. You know what I'm saying? And it leads to bad situations sometimes. Y'all be good. I'm out of here.